US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo has refuted claims made by Iraq that Qassem Soleimani was on a diplomatic mission when he was killed in a US airstrike.
Is there any history that would indicate that it was remotely possible that this kind gentleman, this diplomat of great order, Qassem Soleimani, had traveled to Baghdad for the idea of conducting a peace mission? We know that wasn't true. We not only know the history, we know in that moment that was not true. Zarif is a propagandist of the First Order, and most of what you suggested in his text message or email or message that you laid out there was indeed Iranian propaganda. It's not new. We've heard these same lies before. It's fundamentally false. He was not there on a diplomatic mission.
Al Jazeera's Alan Fisher was at that briefing at the State Department in Washington, and he's with us now live. Alan, what else did the Secretary of State have to say?
Well, it's certainly a packed briefing room as Mike Pompeo going public since the first time he did the rounds on the Sunday talk shows here in the United States, the big political shows, as he tried to give some sort of thinking behind the US operation. He was asked again about the intelligence. He said, look, everyone sat down with the president. The intelligence agencies presented what they knew. There was also input from teams in the field, as he suggested, the likes of Mike Pompeo putting together what he saw as feedback from his team, and then they took the decision. It's important to point out at this point that they say that they followed what the intelligence gave them, and this is from a president who so often in the past has criticised the intelligence services in the United States. Mike Pompeo himself, a former head of the CIA before he was promoted to Secretary of State. He also said that on Donald Trump's administration, Iran will never get a nuclear weapon, repeating the message that he said many times. He was asked as well about the legal implications, and he said, look, he didn't know about the specific instance in this case, but he said before, operations of this kind are taken more often than not before there is any feedback. It is run through the legal process, and he suggested that that's what happened this time, although couldn't absolutely confirm. Now, he's also asked too about Donald Trump saying that he was going to target Iranian cultural sites. You'll remember on Sunday, Donald Trump tweeted out saying that he had a list of 52 sites where he could possibly hit, including those attached to Iranian culture. And many people have pointed out that this is potentially a war crime. Mark Esper, who is the Defense Secretary, said that he would never do anything that would break international law. Mike Pompeo was asked specifically about this on Sunday when he did the tour of those shows, and he said the president hadn't said that. Donald Trump then on Sunday evening doubled down, saying yes, he did say it and he meant it. He said that they can kill our people, talking about Americans, and they can't hit cultural sites. So Donald Trump very much thinking that this is something that he could do. But Mike Pompeo took an unusual line of defence, saying that it wasn't America that was threatening Iranian culture, it was the people in charge of that country.
Let me tell you who's done damage to the Persian culture. It's not the United States of America. It's the Ayatollah. If you want to look at who has denied religious freedom, if you want to know who has denied, the Persian culture is rich and steeped in history and intellect, and they've denied the capacity for that culture to continue. If you go back and look at the holidays around Cyrus and Nowruz, they've not permitted people to celebrate. They've not allowed people that they've killed, that Qassem Soleimani killed, they've not allowed them to go mourn their family members. The real risk to Persian culture does not come from the United States of America. That there is no mistake about that.
It's interesting that Mike Pompeo was asked, was the assassination, the killing of General Soleimani, part of the maximum pressure campaign that Donald Trump has said that he's going to wage on Iran to force them back to the negotiating table? Mike Pompeo has said that they will continue to look at diplomatic, at economic and military options. So pressed, is this part of the maximum pressure campaign? Is there the potential that there could be further killings of senior people in the Iranian government? He insisted they will continue to pursue diplomatic, economic and possible military action. So he didn't rule it out.
Al Jazeera's Alan Fisher reporting live there from the State Department in Washington. Alan, many thanks.